bylaws, an operating agreement, organizational minutes, annual corporate maintenance, bookkeeping and accounting. The list goes on and on. Sure, you can hire a lawyer or an accountant, but they charge thousands of dollars for these services. But when you call Foresight Bay, they charge just a small fraction of that. Whether you're a large business with dozens of employees or just a guy in a truck, or maybe you're just starting a business, the staff at Foresight Bay will hold your hand through the entire process. Give them a call, set up a no-charge consultation, and let your business be all that it can be. 954-788-3005. 954-788-3005.
Talk 1470 WWNN Pompano Beach, WKIS HD3 Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
We are excited to launch our new Dividend Capture newsletter. Dividend Capture is a strategy of buying a stock just before the stock is traded without the dividend, holding it just long enough for the stock to move back to your original purchase price to collect the dividend without cost, then selling the stock to capture the dividend. However, the added advantage of our Dividend Capture newsletter is the use of our proprietary cycle analysis research, identifying stocks that may continue up in price after stocks trade ex-dividend. This newsletter is updated by me, Dr. Ellen Bruno Ramsey, on the last Monday of every month with weekly action alert email updates to subscribers. Our Dividend Capture strategy, with results so far of many profitable trades, some straight in a row, is suggest a dividend money machine for all investors. See the results of our actual client trades by visiting www.peterbruno.com and clicking the Today's Radio feature hyperlink. Visit www.tradingletter.com and click on the Dividend Capture newsletter section for more detailed information. Or call our offices at 1-800-4-NEWSLETTER to subscribe.
AM 1470 WNN with more of what you need to know. Tune in for No Bones About It with Dr. Alvin Stein, Tuesday mornings at 11 on South Florida's Health and Wealth Network. AM 1470 WNN. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about a very special organization and a very special event. Vital Flight is Florida's only nonprofit, all-volunteer pilot organization dedicated to the mission of helping people. Vital Flight brings it all together and coordinates the air transportation delivered by volunteer pilots that have dedicated themselves to this type of valuable service. These pilots provide their time, aircraft, and all expenses at no charge to those seeking assistance. So far, Vital Flight has provided over 750 free flights to those with medical or compassion needs, including cancer patients and disabled veterans. Vital Flight also flies humanitarian missions. For every dollar raised, $8 go into service. On April 5th, Vital Flight will hold their annual special day for special kids to give special needs children a day of fun, including a ride in one of Vital Flight's planes. Your sponsorships make this and everything else possible. To help sponsor the special day or donate to Vital Flight, call 800-276-0300 or visit vitalflight.org.
AM 1470 with even more information you can use. Are you suffering with chronic pain? Tune in for No Bones About It with Dr. Alvin Stein. You'll learn non-invasive techniques that can help you get rid of your pain without the use of harmful drugs or surgery. That's No Bones About It with Dr. Alvin Stein. Tuesday mornings at 11, right here on AM 1470 WNN, South Florida's Health and Wealth Network.
Talk health. Talk wealth. Talk politics. Talk 1470 WNN.
The following message is brought to you by the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
The Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association represents more than 1 million of your friends and neighbors working in the hospitality industry today. We are creating jobs, funding dreams, and building a strong Florida economy. Trained professionals line up daily to make sure your experience at their restaurants and hotels is unlike anywhere else in the world. So please invite your friends, plan a trip, and stay a while.
The opinions expressed in the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Golf and Travel Show, the place to fine-tune your swing, dress for the course, club, or cruise, and get tips on the best places to play and stay at the right price. Vacation or staycation, host Dan Shub, along with his expert co-hosts and guests, will tell you where to go. To play golf and vacation, that is. Now, here's Dan.
And welcome to another edition of the Golf and Travel Show. I'm Dan Schub, and like we do every week at this time, we talk some golf, we talk some travel, we have a great time, have some wonderful guests, some free tips, and a whole lot more. And tonight is no exception. Wonderful guest going to be joining us in a little bit. We're going to kick it off in a few minutes with Robert Brunner, and he's the creative director of a company called Devereaux. New company that has some edgy-looking golf apparel for men, shirts and sweaters that I like a lot. As a matter of fact, if you check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Golf and Travel Show, you will see me wearing it from a couple of minutes ago. And in addition to Robert, we're going to be talking a little later in the show to Chris Calhoun, and he's with FunJet Vacations as well as a couple of other brands, packaging some very, very cool vacations for everybody to go on. So we'll, like we always do, tell everybody where they should go. So we like doing that. But first, what I would also like to do is introduce my co-hosts, and first, I'd like everybody to hear a little bit about Jerry Augustine. And that's her boat coming right into the pier right now. Jerry brings to us over 25 years of experience in the service and hospitality industry. She's currently the president and owner of Sea Dreams Travel in Jupiter. And at Sea Dreams, she's that concierge that can create the perfect vacation for you and your family. And Sea Dreams has a very knowledgeable staff that's traveled the world, and her tagline, "Your World, Your Way," is exactly what Sea Dreams is all about. When you listen to the Golf and Travel Show and Jerry, she will prove every week how booking travel yourself is not your best or easiest route. And Jerry's actually on location. She's not here in the studio with us tonight, so she's going to be calling in later in the show with some pretty neat tips and tidbits of information as it relates to travel. And, oh, there she goes, but she'll be back. Right here in the studio with me is my other co-host, Jess Frank, who's a PGA teaching professional and the owner of the Jess Frank Golf Academy at Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club in Boca. He's that guy with that beautiful swing that you just heard. Jess specializes in on-course instruction with V1 video analysis, and he believes that every lesson and swing is different. Jess likes to focus on the scoring part of your game, the short shots, taught on the golf course, which instills plenty of confidence. Some of you may know him from his work at area country clubs, such as St. Andrews, Boca Lago, and Broken Sound. Jess loves to teach golf and has a passion for the game. Golf is a little challenging at times, but Jess can make it easy for you to learn and excel. How are you doing tonight?
I am excellent, Dan, and good evening again to you and our listeners out there. And just a gorgeous day in South Florida here in Boca Raton. It's just, we're so lucky again to be in this area.
Yeah, I mean, actually today was like maybe a day that might not have been a perfect day, and even the days that aren't perfect are still pretty close to perfect. Anyway.
I'll take a little bit of wind, but the weather was it was nice, and it was a busy day on the lesson tee, and it was all good for sure. So
a cold front came through, and it's like 2 degrees colder.
I was hoping for a little chill, but no, it was no jacket today, no wind jacket. It used to be up in Chicago where I was winter gloves and hat and the ski jacket and boots, but no more. That's why I'm here in Boca Raton. So
I can't imagine.
It's great for the game down here. You can play anytime you want all year round. So,
well, couple of things we got going on here. Yep. First of all, next week we're going to have a guest on, and I'm going to talk more in depth about some golf that I'm going to be playing this weekend up at the Mission Inn. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary. Same family has owned it for 50 years, and cool. One of their golf courses, El Campeon, was built in 1917.
Wow.
And it features 85 feet of elevation changes.
Ah,
very
which you
cool.
Don't find, not in South Florida.
So
flatlands.
I'm excited to be able to play their 2 golf courses this weekend, weather permitting. They were, like I say, expecting a front, but I think it's an imminent front. I don't know what it is. A put on. That's what it is. But we have other exciting news too.
Yes,
and
we do.
I think you wanted to make a brief announcement about a new sponsor that's going to be joining us effective next week.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to announce that Edwin Watts Golf Shops will be coming on board as a sponsor of the Golf and Travel Show, and I'm very fortunate actually to work in their Fort Lauderdale store as well as have the Jess Frank Golf Academy. So it's a great combination, and we're going to probably be interviewing the manager from that location as well, Chris Hamler, and talk about club fitting and what Edwin Watts has and all the benefits and everything that goes into getting clubs that properly fit your game. And that's what the Edwin Watts guys and girls are all about, and helping their game. And yeah, I'm just just really excited about this opportunity. It's going to be fun.
Well, I'm excited too because obviously the Edwin Watts name in golf is just a huge name. They've been around for forever. A lot of locations, not just here in South Florida, but all over.
Utah, South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas. I mean, there's 45 locations, and now they're really they're doing some nice advertising through the Golf Channel, and then of course the Golf and Travel Show.
Of course, they haven't really done any advertising until they've done it with us.
Exactly. That's true. We're the main ones, but yeah, it's exciting because again. Place of employment, but also the fact that, if you have a passion for the game, Edwin Watts guys are just, they love golf and they love to help people.
Well, obviously a lot of the folks that work there, like yourself, are professional teaching folks, so they know how to fit you with clubs.
I'll tell you what, a lot of good players, too, there that work at Edwin Watts. In fact, a couple of guys I play with, Prong is a really good player. He plays out at Pompano Muni. He'll make 6-7 birdies around, and Ellen's a great player. Tyler's a great player. So Jim Irwin, who's a club fitter there, and also the club repair specialist, has been there for 17 years.
And I think the point is that there's a lot of great equipment out there, but it doesn't mean it's right for everybody.
Exactly.
So it's a matter of making sure that the right equipment is in the hands of the right person.
Exactly. The shafts, the lofts, grips, I mean, lengths of the club, the flex of the shaft, the lie angles, the different heads, game improvement heads versus players' clubs, players' irons, different ball flights. I mean, there's so many different factors, and if you're with a really good fitting professional, I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference in your game.
And now that you've got my head spinning with all this information about Edwin Watts, I think you wanted to talk a little bit about swing thoughts and how to keep your head straight.
Well,
so we got to give that quick tip out there for our listeners.
Well, the quick tip, the value tip today from the JFGA is all about keeping it simple. And I gave a couple lessons today, and a couple of the guys that I was teaching had a lot of thoughts in the machine, and so they were taking the swing in pieces and trying to make it work. And if you watch the guys out on tour or the ladies out on tour, they're making a smooth motion. They're not taking it back. They're not taking it back a foot and then moving it this way and then moving it that way. And you can tell when somebody's really thinking about their golf swing. And so what I always like to explain is that there's two boxes. There's the think box, which is behind the golf ball when you're standing on the target line looking at your target. And what you should be thinking about is just the fact of, okay, I'm going to hit this 8-iron. I picked my 8-iron. I'm going to hit it right to left draw, and it's going to go 145 yards, and there's my target, and that's it. So you're just thinking about target. You're visualizing your line. You walk into the ball. Now you're in the play box. Now you take a couple looks, you get your grip, and you make your swing. So if you're thinking about, 4, 5, 10 different things going on in your head from all the tips that everybody's told you, try to eliminate that, make it simple. Think positive thoughts. Think where you're going to hit the ball, not where you don't want to hit the ball. And that will definitely, I know that will help people.
But if you're playing for money with somebody, make sure that you give them as many of those thoughts as you possibly can. Right?
Keep reminding them about the water and the out of bounds when you're playing for money.
Don't hit it into that water.
Yeah, no, exactly. When you're playing for money, you can have a little gamesmanship going on. But as far as just improving your game, improving your ball striking, keep the thoughts simple. Keep them maybe one swing thought, but no more than that, because a golf swing happens quick. I mean, it's explosive motion, and it's it's something that needs to be reactive, not thought out in 6 different pieces. So, that's kind of my tip for today.
Yeah, and if you have too many swing thoughts, you need to take something to help you keep your head straight, right? And we don't want to recommend that to anybody.
No, definitely not. No.
All right, well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break and come back with a sponsor's message now that you sunk that putt. And stay tuned for more of the Golf and Travel Show, because we'll be right back.
I'm just hitting on the back.
And we are back, and I think it's time for a message from one of your favorite sponsors.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm always there on a Friday teaching all day long, and it is gorgeous out there, and a great driving range, and I was on the back of the range today giving some golf lessons, and I'd like to talk about Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club, the home of the Just Frank Golf Academy, and it's located in South Palm Beach, one of Boca Raton's best-kept secrets, with a par 72 championship and an executive course. And both courses are a challenge for all skill levels, with the only lighted driving range in Boca Raton. There's also a putting green and a snack shop, all open till 10 p.m. There are discounted memberships available for only $60, and receive discounted rates and afternoon specials with that membership. There's also a 9-hole Thursday night league that's already started for only $13 a player. You can call the Pro Shop at 561-451-1600, extension 101, for additional information. And if you've never played Boca Dunes, come and see for yourself what a great course this is. Located at 1400 Country Club Drive in West Boca Raton, or check out their website at bocadunes.com. For tee times and more information, please call 561-451-1600, extension 101, and mention you heard about them on the Golf and Travel Radio Show and receive $10 off morning rates. That's Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club.
And we are back, and silver threads and golden needles. I thought that was appropriate.
Perfect for our next guest.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I'm sitting here wearing my new threads here.
Yeah, you're looking good.
My Devereaux shirt, and I'm feeling good, and I'm looking good, and I just wanted to share the wealth, and I'm really pleased that we can have an opportunity to talk for just a few minutes with the creative director, the genius, one of the co-founders of Devereaux, a really new hip line of men's shirts and sweaters to wear out on the golf course. And to break into this business must not be easy, so I can't wait to hear the story. So I'd like to welcome Robert Brenner. Are you with us? Robert?
Thank you so much. Thank you for the kind words as well.
Oh, it's a pleasure, and I did post a picture of me wearing my shirt that I was fortunate enough to receive at the Tour Edge event up at the PGA Merchandise Show in January, and well, I say it's new. I have to admit I've been wearing it quite a bit, so it really isn't that new. It just still looks new because it's holding up so nicely. But in any event, your product line is a little bit different, and going to the PGA Show for the first time, I have to be honest with you, I see many people go for the first time, and I never see them again. What possessed you to get into the clothing business and fight all the giants that are out there already? It must be a difficult thing to start up.
It's definitely difficult, but the clothing industry, the fashion industry, is something that I'm very passionate about. It's what I wanted as a person. So I went and pursued that through education, through training, and then followed that also through golf. And that's my entry into, just golf fashion.
Now, obviously, you chose a different kind of a niche. So, what brought you to that? Did you find a weakness in what was out there on the market, something that was missing that you thought you can exploit? Something when you went looking for products, did you not find what you wanted to wear? Fill us in a little bit about how you found your niche.
No, most definitely. As a player, I go out and I wore all types of clothes. And I just wanted something that could transcend on course and off course, where I could play 18 holes, and after 18 holes, I could go to a bar and get a drink with my friend, get a drink with a girl, or whatnot. And I wanted that kind of apparel to transcend on course and off course very well. And that's what sparked the whole idea and what I wanted to do in the design realm.
It's interesting what you said, because I did visit with a couple of the women's apparel companies who had a very, very similar approach. They wanted to be a little more edgy. They wanted something that you could wear from the course. Say it's a charity event, you play, and then they've got a dinner. Could be not formal, but a little bit fancier. So they wanted to be able to transcend. So it seems to be a pretty neat thing. Now, obviously, a lot of clothing manufacturers have men's and women's lines, so you're focusing just on the men's. Is that by choice? Is that going to change in the future?
In the moment, it is by choice, but I want to establish a reputation, and I want Devereaux to be perceived as something that we do well, on a day-to-day basis. And then eventually, we would love to start a women's line, but in the moment, it is men's, and we want to focus strictly on men's apparel.
We're not, Jess and myself, Jess Frank, who's my co-host here, we're not going to argue. If you want to cater to the men right now, that's okay with us.
Exactly. Yeah. Good evening, Robert. This is Jess. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Excellent. And you said you're a player, and I'm a PGA golf professional, and I can appreciate both the fashion sense and being able to play in a golf shirt that looks really nice on and off the course. And was that something that you thought of as a player to help the gentleman on the course who wants to do both?
Yes, that's exactly what I thought of. That's my personality when I play. I like looking good in what I do, whether it's anything in life. So, that's where it all starts. And when you're done with golf, you generally go out and get a drink or two. You go out with your buddies who you play with, and you want to continue that good-looking apparel into the night. So might as well have, a shirt that can go from the course to the bar.
Now, without getting too technical, the shirt that I'm wearing, I noticed, I like the fact that it's soft. I suppose it has a larger cotton content, and these days most of the, the moisture-wicking materials are more polyesters. I sometimes feel like I'm wearing a recycled, 2-liter bottle, which I might be, which is okay, nothing against recycling, but the softness of this fabric is something that really attracted me. When I shop with my fingers. I have to feel it, and if it feels good, then I'll consider it. In choosing the fabrics, what are your thoughts there? Where do they come from? How do you find something that feels so nice?
That's the great thing about men's. Any man that goes shopping, they focus on first feel, touch, whatever they touch feels great. Then they wear it. And the fit on how it wears is, where they're drawn to, and that's how they stick with the brand. So when it came to feel in the fabric, it was just something, I studied fabrications, and I went through schooling, went through training on fabrication. And we did a whole research and development period on our entire fabric, and we washed the way we treated our fabrics to come up with something that became soft, which is a synthetic fabric, also has the natural fibers of cotton. But to treat it in a special manner in which we do at Devereaux, it came out beautifully where the hand is it's spectacular. It's soft, and it works for the golfer.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that. And then the other problem that sometimes you have with these softer fabrics, after you wash them a bunch of times, they start to pill. And like I said, I've been wearing this quite a while, and it hasn't done that. So from a technical aspect, how is it that you can make a product that doesn't pill when you wash it a bunch of times?
It's simple. You got to spend the money on high-quality fabric. So we focus a lot of our time and money and efforts into what is the high quality. So we use Pima cotton, which is the second highest grade of cotton in the world. Egyptian cotton, number one, but that's generally never seen in clothing. It's more seen in sheets and whatnot. But we focus in Pima cotton. And then our polyester, which we use, is a very high grade of polyester. So those are, quality is our first and foremost. We want our consumer to be happy. If our consumer's happy, we're happy. And we focus on what you guys have.
Now, the Pima, is that from Peru? Is that where that comes from, or where actually do you get Pima cotton from?
And so Pima, we do our Pima cotton from Peru. It is Peruvian Pima cotton, and they do a wonderful job down there with their handwork and with their cotton. So it's just completely, it's fabulous.
Well, I couldn't agree more. Now, obviously, when you use these kinds of products, the shirts, they're not cheap. I mean, we know that. So why don't you explain a little bit about your price points and the kinds of places where the product may be found? I mean, we're sitting in Boca Raton, Florida. Obviously, we've got some upscale clientele at the country clubs around here. Just up the road is Palm Beach. These are your kinds of people. But, what's your strategy on your pricing and where the availability is so that you get to the right people for your product?
Right. So our pricing retail is $80 between $90 on a polo. for a golf shirt, and it's $145 roughly on our sweaters. We focus strictly right now just on green grass, so you can find our product in country clubs, resorts in which you visit. And we've been getting a lot of acceptance from higher end clubs and courses. Also, we have websites that carry them, such as Fairway Styles, and ourselves that have a whole e-commerce presence at dbrxgolf.com, and that's another selling point for us.
Well, I always like to see when something is also available on the internet, because as good as your distribution may be, you're never going to be everywhere, and I don't like talking about a product and getting our listeners all excited about it, and then they get disappointed because they can't find it. So I think having that backup where people can shop on the internet is always a cool thing. Not to mention when it comes around time to the holidays, I don't like to have to go out and shop around, right before Christmas or something. So when I could just go on the computer and have something land on my doorstep, that's always a plus.
Right. Yeah. The digital age is kind of taking over right now, so you have to accommodate that.
So, I guess the products that I've seen on your website are your first launch. I mean, you probably have already been working on the next lineup. Can you give us a little clue as to what direction and where you're heading?
Yeah. So we have fall 2014 out and rolling. We're selling to any country club, any resort that is of our liking, that is willing to take on the product. And it's a very cool collection. It's a collection that is focused more on the vintage golden era of golf. Your players from Palmer, Hogan, Trevino, those guys, we focus a lot on that. With our modern styling, our modern colors, and our attention to detail is, the whole direction of that line. So it's a very fun and creative line. And with that, we have also launched a cardigan, which is new, and 4 different colors of a player's pant, which we're excited about.
Speaking of colors, why don't you fill us guys in who are not always all that up on fashion? What are the hot colors right now for guys for apparel out on the golf course?
In the moment, in your springs, you're going to be seeing a lot of greens, not heavy greens, but lighter greens, kind of sea foams, anything that's the nautical related. You're going to be seeing corals and salmons. In our new collection, that's just in the spring right now. In the new collection of fall, we're producing evergreens and collarettes and maroons, which look spectacular on the golf course.
That sounds like fall already. See, down here in Florida, we have issues with that because we never know what season it is because it's beautiful all year long.
It's all one season.
Although you're out in the Los Angeles area, so you enjoy good weather most of the year as well, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
It's like if I don't look on a calendar, I don't even know what month or season it is.
And you always have to test out your own product out on the golf course, right, Robert?
You have to. It's a great thing.
It's a must. Well, we're almost out of time, so if you could, one more time perhaps, let our listeners know how to find you on your website so that they can all take a look at what we're talking about and they can buy their own shirts and sweaters from Devereaux.
Yeah, wonderful. Check out Devereaux, a new men's contemporary golf line, at dvrxgolf.com.
Well, that's awesome, and like I say, right now we've not too far off is Father's Day, so we got Father's Day, and come the Christmas time. Hopefully, we'll remind all of our listeners to go check it out again. We'll do a little roundup of all the good holiday items.
My dad's birthday is coming up too.
There you go. So it's perfect.
And we're also running an ad in the USA Today coming out for the Masters. So
wow.
For that.
All right, cool. You guys better be resting there. I'm sure you'll get a lot of phone calls. So thank you so much for coming on with us, Robert. It's really a great product. I endorse it wholeheartedly. Like I say, I love wearing it, and hopefully our listeners will enjoy it as much as I do as well. So thank you very much.
Guys, it was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks, Robert. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the Golf and Travel Show in just a minute, so please stay tuned.
Cinderella story, out of nowhere. A former greenskeeper now about to become the Masters champion.
It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole!
I rap fly, call me chocolate thunder, and I got good juice going 4 strokes under. Get out the way if you wanna go play, cause I give it